What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good morning. Welcome to another transfer view, another day. Happy Friday, end of the week. It's the end of the week at Man United, and it kind of has been a busy week. Do you know what? This has been a decent week. I think this has been a good week. Not with the takeover situation. We'll leave that. Today's not about the takeover situation. As you can see along the bottom of the screen, there is no takeover talk today. That is not on the agenda. A little bit of Sir Jim yesterday, but I think actually it's been a decent week. Onana, deal close. We're going to be talking about that, so make sure you're ready for that. Hojlund, top target, transfer target number 1. Van der Beek, exit, summer outgoings, and a Henderson departure as Onana gets closer. So, yeah, a lot of people saying the early view, bright-eyed, bushy tails, man. So energetic today, feeling good. The weather's warm. It's going to be a nice day today here in England. I said, Owen, let's get live early. Get live early, mate. Give them what they want. Let's get live early. And we did. So, yeah, big up the early view. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. But, Owen, before you get into the first story, rate the week out of 10. I know we don't normally do that, but just, yeah. Just
what's happened this week? Sometimes it all blurs together a little bit, doesn't it? It has been a good week. I mean, Mason Mount was announced. No real close when it comes to the takeover stuff, so just your average week there. But I do think actually, I was thinking this. Jungle says 4. I was thinking this yesterday. There certainly is development on transfers this week, isn't there? You know, Mason Mount's officially through the door. Onana, as we're going to talk about very shortly, does feel we're getting Onana, and something's got to have to drastically fall apart for that not to happen. Yeah. So touch wood. So I think Onana's that's going to happen. You know, the noises are now when it comes to Hojlund too. He's the top target. They're going to actively go after him. So that's good. Amrabat, the only thing is player sales, which I'm still a bit uncertain about. But yeah. I would say, you want me to rate out of 10?
Yeah, just no reason. Just want you to do it. Everyone in chat's having a go as well.
6.
Okay.
6.5.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But
what about
you? And even that's not like, it's not like a 9. But I don't know, I just feel good. It could be, you know, this time next week could be completely different. It could be a 0. I just don't know. I just had a bit of optimism. I think because the Onana thing's just kicking along, and I'm like, I know we'll get him. We're going to get him. Mason Mount's in the bag. I know the Hojlund thing. I've got concerns about him being the main striker, but they're going to push forward with that. I don't know. I just felt like it was a decent week. But yeah, it's nothing to write home about. We're not back. We haven't had the best transfer window. It's not that. Have to stress that. But let's get into the first story anyway. Onana deal closed. We've seen so many reports yesterday with the personal terms not being an issue, and Man United coming in with the first bid and that being turned down. But, you know, not much difference between the two clubs, and then a second bid to come. We're kind of waiting for that. Here we go. A lot of people are.
Second bid was in. Second bid was in.
Second bid in. Yes. And they're expected to accept that, etc., etc. But what is the latest state of play now?
Yes, so as you mentioned, Flex, this is 2 bids have now gone in. I think the second one, again, was rejected, or at least there's like, okay, we're getting closer. Let's get to a compromise here. So the latest when it comes to Andre Onana comes from Mike Verwij, of course, a Dutch-based journalist involving, and that would make sense considering Erik ten Hag, and also Andre Onana was at Ajax with Erik ten Hag. He has said that Manchester United have taken a big step towards bringing in Andre Onana. They are approaching an agreement with Inter for a fee of approximately 55 million euros. Manchester United have outlined an agreement with Andre Onana himself. He will have a 5-year contract or a 4-year one with an extra year available. So they're essentially saying, again, once this fee is agreed, personal terms are not an issue. That's already been done. That agreement's basically already in place. Matteo Moretto, who is a journalist based in Italy, close to the Inter Milan side of things, is saying that Manchester United and Inter are, quote, really close to reaching an agreement for Andre Onana. Inter Milan want 55 million euros, including bonuses. Negotiation sources believe that a deal can be closed soon. Again, as of right now, the difference in valuation is 5 million euros. United last offer was for a package of 50 million euros. Inter want 55. We're talking about a difference of like 2 and a bit million quid at this point. So it's very, very close. As Gianluca Di Marzio said, Inter want that fee of 55 million euros, including add-ons for Andre Onana. Manchester United's last offer reached 50 million euros. It seems now that it's only a matter of time until this deal is made. When it comes to the Inter Milan side of things as well, which is also a good indication that this deal is very close and isn't going to fall apart or anything like that, Inter Milan, they've already started looking at replacements. Fabrizio Romano has said that Inter have opened talks to sign Jan Sommer from Bayern Munich. He joins a list of some other goalkeepers the club are considering now to invest in if Andre Onana does join United. He was on their list in January, so they're going after him. So, again, the big story here is that the last bid was 50 million euros. Inter want 55. Everyone is under the understanding and thought process of this is going to get done. The compromise will be met. Inter are already looking at replacements. It's just a matter of time, Flex.
Just a matter of time. I said it the other day. Put my neck on. I didn't really put my neck on the line because it wasn't like.
Oh, Flex, you were bold in your prediction.
You know, I did basically. I did a Romano, didn't I? Really. I was like, as per 19,000 other journalists that are saying we're going to get Onana. I was like, guys, we're getting him. So it wasn't me breaking an exclusive or sticking my neck out on the line. But, you know, as you know, with transfers, a lot of people are like, listen, don't say anything till he's holding up the shirt. But like I said, get your Onana shirts ready, guys. Number 1, Onana, go get it printed. Would you be that confident to go and get one printed now if you had to?
Well, I believe in the jinx and stuff like that, and I don't know if I'd go that.
No, I would never. No, I wouldn't. I would never do that. I would never do that. But see, I wouldn't even do that after Here We Go. That you don't get things printed until they actually have a thing. But yeah, I still think 100% we're going to get him. 100%, Owen. That we're gonna get him. And with the David De Gea doing the circus act, the juggling thing yesterday, saying it's a bit of a circus.
Yeah, what did you make of that? For those that didn't see, David De Gea did another cryptic tweet. Last time it was the yawn emoji. Oh, tired of all of this. And they said that he was tired of the speculation. This time he did the juggling tweets, which obviously, as with anything with these sort of cryptic nature things, they're open to interpretation. That's why they do them. So I think the general interpretation of it was that he was saying that this is a circus act. You know, this belongs to the circus act. Some people say, oh, he's juggling offers. That's what I say. Juggling offers sometimes. It means it's a circus act, I would think. What did you make of that?
It means he's pissed off and he's not happy. That's what it does mean anyway. David De Gea, this is the most uncharacteristic thing that he could do. He never does this because obviously he's been number 1 and he's pretty much, apart from the situation where he went away for the birth of his child, then it was Dean Henderson, then Henderson got COVID and he won it back. Apart from that, he hasn't really had much adversity in his Man United career. And then obviously you add in the fax machine thing that happened ages ago. But by and large, he's, you know, Mr. Quiet, gets his head down. He's just Man United's number 1. He hasn't really had to go through this. And the club, like I still say, should have handled this better. So I get it. But it is uncharacteristic for him to go public with that and put little cryptic messages and just add fuel to the fire, really, because that's all he's doing. He's just adding to the situation. He's not helping the situation. But after 12 years of service, I'm not going to be like, you're an idiot. Why are you doing that? Like, that's how he feels he wants to express himself. And we can clearly see where the club's going and what they're about to do. So it's not, I'm not in that camp of like, oh, you're still under contract, because you're not. Like, we can't forget that he's not a player for us anymore as it stands. If he wants to tweet funny things, he can do it. Like, it's not that deep. And I actually do get his frustration. So I don't really care. I just think it's more significant that it shows that even he's rattled, even he's pissed off by this, and he's like,
and it's nothing new. It's nothing new. Just saying Manchester United is like a circus, yeah, yeah. That's like Ronaldo going to Piers Morgan with the interview, going, "The Glazers don't care about the club."
That already, mate. Yeah, you're not a hero for saying that. We know.
Yeah.
So I don't really mind.
And obviously, he was setting himself up for some jokes as well because he's juggling balls, and people were saying, "Oh, you'd never catch him," you know, all that kind of stuff. And I just thought, mate, come on. But I mean, again, it was just,
and then he's just logged out and just let it be.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those ones. But yeah, going back to the Onana thing, we did say it, to be fair, a couple of days ago, that when United put in that first bid and everyone went, "Oh, it's a low bid. Why are they putting the low bid?" You go, because they're going to work their way up to the third. It's the same with Mason Mount. You know, one bid rejected, second bid rejected, third bid compromise. Yeah. Third bid's never actually the one they want, but it's compromise. And as I said, when you've got a difference of 5 million euros, which is a total package as well, It's got to get done. I mean,
It's
that deal is not going to fall apart over 5 million euros. Like I said, like 2.5 million quid, something around that sort of figure. My conversion rate's not amazing. So
No, yeah.
I think, a bit like with the Mason Mount thing, they'll figure it out. And they did say, Melissa Reddy wrote a really good article yesterday. I did a video on that here. And she was saying that they want to get it done before Inter go back to pre-season training or report for pre-season training. That's 6 days' time. That's, I believe it is, something like that. So if that is the case, they want the Onana deal to be at least agreed in principle before like next Thursday, something like that. And frankly, if they're saying that personal terms are already agreed, contracts near enough done, it would just, with this close over a transfer fee, there's no reason why it can't get done quite quickly. And also, I suppose, Flex, and if we're going to say that this is happening, when do we get the here we go from Romano? Could it be as early as today? It's possible.
I mean, with all the reports that are saying it's really close and it's, going to happen and this, that, and the other, I wouldn't be surprised with a here we go over the weekend. Today, maybe, yeah, it could be. Do I think it'll come today?
Yes,
it can. I wouldn't say it can't. I wouldn't be like, nah, that's too early, man. Or in true Romano fashion, because you know what he's like. He'll want to stretch it out, and you don't want to say it until he actually knows as well. But more so, want to stretch it out. Here we go, expected soon. There'll be a tweet of that. Here we go, coming soon. There'll be that, and then here we go soon. There'll be that. So there might be still 3 more Romano updates. And then today he's going to say something of talk still going on, deal really close. Like he's going to say something without saying the thing today. I guarantee that.
That was what was funny with the Mason Mount one is everyone was covering it every step of the way. And then Ornstein was the one where he went, oh yeah, the fee's been agreed. And you could literally feel like Romano, like, damn it.
Yeah. The here we go don't mean nothing then. I mean, the here we go only hits when like he's the first to say it. Because when Ornstein drops the sirens and puts exclusive, if he's the first to say it, then great. Or if it's Sam Ober, the one who David Ornstein was bigging up the other day for breaking the Rice one, because it wasn't actually Ornstein. Then I asked him on Talk Sport about it. He was like, first of all, big up to my colleague or someone, David Obi, someone will put it in the chat because you lot got better memories than I have. But it wasn't Ornstein who broke the Rice thing. As the like it's done. Yeah, that's it. Mockbell. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It was him. It was Sammy Mockbell who did it. And Ornstein was quick to say, like, well, first of all, I'm not taking the credit for this. It was fantastic work by my colleague, Sammy Mockbell. Romano would never do that. You get
nice as
hits
per.
different.
You get nice as per.
You get an as per this person. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think it's going to happen, man. I can't see how it doesn't. Like we said, the chain of reaction, the chain of events has literally been perfect this week for the Onana situation, what we needed to happen, and it's happened.
Yeah, I was going to say, so now, because players are back in pre-season training at this point, the non-international players.
Yeah.
So next week, I don't know when next week the international players are coming back. Is it the same time? Is it like a week on Thursday? Is that when they're coming back in?
Well, our first game, we got a game in Norway on the 12th. So I don't. If we got a game in less than a week and the other international guys aren't back yet,
so I don't think he's gonna. He's not gonna play in that one. I don't think. But then that basically means Tom Heaton's gonna play in that one most likely, right?
Yeah, it said Man United to start the tour with Tom Heaton as number 1. It did say that. I did read a report of that. Big up AS says Flex is salty because Fabrizio goes on United standard, not United view. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that's the exact reason why I'm saying exactly what he does by quote tweeting other people and doing the tapping, because he doesn't come on United view. Not because that's what he actually does.
Also as well, I think people sort of misinterpret that. That's not a knock on Fabrizio Romano. That is just what he does. That's what he does. Like again, I get it. That's fine. Different horses for different courses. No beef here or anything like that. Everyone watches his videos. You know that,
mate. Just say what people do. Don't say what they don't do. Just say what they do. And Romano regurgitates other people's things, and other journalists get pissed. Fact. That's what happens. That's what they say. As per this person, as per that person. That's just what he does. Blame Romano, don't blame me.
Yeah.
And yeah, and big up Romano, he's still good. Like the here we
Yeah,
go
it's
still
just,
has
it's good.
weight.
Doesn't make him bad.
Yeah.
We're
It
not
just don't
coming on
hit
here
like
going
it used to
Romano.
hit.
Romano, we're not going Romano's a fraud. He doesn't even break exclusives. He broke an exclusive yesterday. You know, that's what he
Exactly.
does. You know, but he also yesterday, I'm trying to find it because I did see one that I thought you just quote tweeted his tweet from earlier and said the same thing. I went, well. Oh, that was it. Yeah. Into Man United into keep talking and negotiating for Andre Onana after 50 million bid add-ons included revealed today. And a 55 million package could be enough to get it done though, as reported earlier. And the quote tweet was 55 million package could be done to get it done earlier. And the tweet again, I thought, well, it's a bit unnecessary that one. But again,
Same.
that's
Just call it what it is. It's the same.
But that's what he does. It's the same
Yeah,
as
yeah.
when you tune into Sky Sports, and if you've been watching Sky Sports News for half an hour, then half an hour later you see the same thing because the news is the news. You know,
and
that's
look at
it.
how he's grown his his following, his status in this field is ridiculous. Look what Ben Jacobs has done, by the way, this window.
Yeah,
like he's really shot up to not stardom, but one of the guys to go to. Ben Jacobs right across the takeover, and then into transfers as well. He's everywhere. So. Yeah, a lot of it's been an emergence for him as well. So a lot of journalists are trying to, do their thing and do their work and stuff like that and get out there, which is good to see. Let's get the super chats out. Sting, been a member for 1 month, says, guys, where is the subscriber count? Yeah, we're having a few technicals.
It's broken. It's pulled from YouTube, and on the YouTube side of things, it's broken. So the subscriber count isn't there. So it's nothing on our end. It's a YouTube bug, which is very frustrating. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't subscribe, because you should. Bottom right-hand corner, click the notification bell as well.
Yeah. Aminor says, two questions regarding the takeover. It took Saudi 2 years to buy Newcastle. We are only 8 months in. It's kind of not a question, but I get what you're saying. Kobe Mainu said, maybe as good as Caicedo. Do you agree?
Well, with the got some. The first one is kind of a mistruth. The reason the Newcastle one took so long was because of the legal types, and it wouldn't get approval, would it? Because of the broadcasting rights and stuff like that with being sports, if I'm correct, and all that kind of stuff. And they had to work those things out. And then the moment that it did get figured out, it happened very, very quickly. So I think that's a little bit different. Technically, there's no legal thing apart from Sir Jim Ratcliffe's one, I suppose, stopping it. That would be the only. If they wanted to go with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, then it could take 2 years because there's a threat of legal action. They might go down that route. Second is Kobe Mainu maybe as good as Caicedo. I mean, there's the sample size just isn't really there at the moment, is it? You know what I mean? Yeah, which is me sort of, matrix avoiding that one.
We just can't say if he can turn out to be as good as Caicedo because we ain't seen him in senior action, have we? Apart from a couple of games where he comes off the bench. Sting has gifted 1 United View membership, so big up to you, Sting. Thank you for that. Next topic, Rasmus Hojlund, #1 target, top target. Rasmus Hojlund is going to be Man United's new #1 striker.
Yeah, so this comes from Sam Wallace and also as well from Jason Burt from The Telegraph, saying Manchester United will make Rasmus Hojlund their new first-choice striker in this window. Manchester United believe that they can deliver Rasmus Hojlund this summer for around £50 million, although the deal might have to wait for the resolution of the sale process or at the very least players going out of the door. Manchester United reportedly are looking at the sale of one or all of, get ready Flex, Harry Maguire, Jadon Sancho, Fred, Scott McTominay, Anthony Martial, Alex Telles, Anthony Elanga and Eric Bailly in order to reset their financial fair play consideration. United striker options going into the window were Rasmus Hojlund and Randal Kolo Muani. Ten Hag has identified Hojlund as his preference, as he is regarded as someone with huge scope for improvement. So what are your thoughts, Flex, on Hojlund being the #1 striking target? Because when I said this to you yesterday, you went, #1 target, eh? A lot of pressure on a young guy, but as Ten Hag has proven in this window and in last year's summer window, when he's got his guy, that is his number one target, United go after him. And actually, most of the time, unless a Frankie de Jong situation, they tend to get them for Erik Ten Hag. So is that one, a positive that Ten Hag wants him, so the club are going to really pursue him, but two, number one target?
I'm not going to lie, so I have to just be honest. This is the situation I wanted to avoid from the start. From the very start, when I even heard about Rasmus Hojlund with the links during the season, when it was Man United interested in Harry Kane and Osimhen, and then a younger up-and-coming striker like Rasmus Hojlund, Kolo Muani, etc., etc., I was like, perfect. But that kid can't be the number one. That's where I'm coming from the whole time through this. Now that the situation's changed, and if we do get him, he will be our number one striker according to reports. I'm not going to be like, that's what I always wanted, because it isn't. Does it mean it's wrong? Well, time will tell if it's wrong. If it happens, time will tell if it's wrong. You know, I have wanted us to get players up and coming that maybe not everyone knows about. I've said it for a while. Where are those types of players? Why do we always have to go and spend 100 and odd million on this and that? But Kane was a bit different, because I'm like, you do have to go and spend 100 million on Kane.
That's
guaranteed. What we need. It's guaranteed. Like, so I meant that more for like central midfield, centre back, wingers, like other things that are like, why can't we get the next one? Where's our Caicedo for 8 million? Well, we could have got him for 3 or 4 million, but that's my point. Where's that? Like a Tyrell Malacia. Where's our left back up and coming for 15 million? Go and get him. That's what I want. But for the main striker to come and start and be the guy this season, because it was a market for Harry Kane, I was like, pay it. But I mean, I think we do have to have a bit of balance though, because although we are going to back our manager, like we have on Mason Mount, that when it all dies down and he's our player and he's our number 7, and you see the interviews and you see how he's been with some of the fans and you see how Eric spoke about him and their interactions, it's easier for us to go, listen, like what you were just saying there, Owen. He actually wants him. It's his guy. We have to trust in Eric. But we can, as fans, still have reservations. You're allowed to do that. Like, we love Eric, and we do trust him. But you can still have your immediate reaction and go, just because Eric does want him, doesn't mean you have to, at the beginning, just with blindly say, well, yeah, if Eric wants him, it's good enough for me. I don't mind. You can still have an opinion. So I still feel like him coming in as the main striker is a lot. It's a lot on him. A lot if that happens. Unknown entity, you know, hasn't got massive experience yet because he's young. And it's a big step. It's a big step up. And we would have to be really, really patient. I would have to completely change my perspective of the striker situation, of where I thought we was going to be compared to where we are going to be if we get him, because him to Kane is no comparison. Having said that, it's open, isn't it? He could blow it out of the water. You never know. So, but he doesn't fill me with that. He fills me with, we'd have to be patient. Let's see how good he is. Let's have a look at him. And I'm willing to be patient with him. So I've just had to move the goalpost because the situation's changed, really, haven't I?
I think I agree with you. I think that, you know, he would not be my first choice as like, this is going to be our striker this season. As we said, he's 20, 10 goals Serie A last season. There's a lot of work to do there. Ten Hag feels that there's a lot of room for improvement, and he thinks that he can develop a lot. And maybe it might be seen, you know, in a couple of years' time. It's really shrewd business. We got Hojlund, and look at the player he's transformed into. That could happen. I would also say, and maybe this is me spinning it, and you're going, "Oh, this is an apples to oranges comparison, Owen." But there's reservation about any signing we make. I mean, look at the signings that we made last year. You look at Martinez, straight away, people go, hey, he's sure. I'm not sure. It's different going for Eredivisie to Premier League. He did really well. Casemiro, people going, it's a lot of money, big contract. And it was actually those two midfielders beside him, Modric and Kroos. They were the better midfielders. Not necessarily true. Christian Eriksen. Oh, man, this guy who had his health issues before, no, I'm not sure about it. He proved that to be pretty good. Anthony, there's still reservations about him, let's be honest. But the point being is, even Mason Mount's just signed, everyone's going, I mean, look at how that polarized people. Because that's not it. He's not it, guys. I mean, Onana, to be fair, is almost, I think, a little bit out of the norm, because I think most people are like, oh, yeah, he's a good player. Everyone's kind of happy with that one. So there are going to be reservations regardless. The only way to prove people wrong is literally just if he scores goals. But my concern is that we might just be setting him up to fail a little bit, you know, because when he comes in, if he doesn't have a season where he's scoring, I mean, what goal? How many goals would you expect from him in his first
so
season?
hard.
Because he
so
plays
hard.
up. If he's starting every week for United,
you
the
want to say double
prerequisite has
digits.
got to be
You've got to get
the
double
prerequisite's got to be like 15, something like that, 20.
But like,
at the same time,
you don't know
he's
how
20.
Rory is. We ain't had a
Yeah,
look
exactly.
at him. Yeah, he could be like. Well, they're getting him as the number one, so they're not buying this kid to loan him back, and they're not buying this kid for peanuts. So for Eric Ten Hag to go and get him now, and this is where we do have to put a little. We can't. What we can't do as Man United fans, and I do agree with this because I think about this at other clubs as well. If I look at them, what we're not allowed to do is just completely take away expectation because someone's young. Like if you're going to spend big money on somebody and bring them in to be the number one, then that comes with a level of expectation. Arsenal are buying Declan Rice for 105 million. Yes, there's a balance of he needs time to get used to his new teammates and that, but it comes with expectation. So if we spend, I don't know what the final thing is going to be for Rasmus Hojlund. The number keeps changing all the time. It went up to like something stupid like 86 million, which is obscene. We shouldn't even be getting him for that. Let's say we spend 50 million on this kid. Yeah. Like that comes with expectation. Like it's and Eric Ten Hag puts him in as that because he's got the belief. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because if you're good enough, you're old enough. And if you're old enough, you're good enough. So if you're good enough, you're old enough. That's it. So if he puts him in the first team as the starter consistently starting every game, then you think he's good enough. And if you bring him in on big money, you think he's good enough. You're trying to get him now. Otherwise, you wouldn't get him. So based off that, there has to be some. We can't just go, listen, he's young, so if he only scores 4, he scores 4. No, this is going to be our main striker. There has to be a balance of expectation versus patience. Because I don't like when other fan bases just go, no, you have to have some accountability.
And there's an argument to be made here. Not that this gets him off the hook, but so look at our striking options over the last year. We had Ronaldo. That was a whole big thing. And as much as the Ronaldo stands want to say it, he was not scoring goals for us this last season when he was at the club, and it wasn't working out. So he goes, our other two striking options then for the remainder of the season without their course, who clearly, as a goal scorer, was not good enough because he scored, 2 goals, 1 goal, whatever it was, not even in the Premier League. So as a goal scorer, he wasn't good enough. Our other striking option was Anthony Martial, who did score goals and did contribute. The only problem is he never played because he was never available. He never played 90 minutes. So an argument there could be made that if you've got this kid who is okay and he's raw, his potential there, but he's playing a lot of games for Atalanta as far as I think his injury record goes. I don't think he gets injured. If you've got someone that's just available and can score, even if it was 10 goals in his first season, that's better than what we've got because at least we've got a striker we know is going to be there every single week and can improve and can score goals. So maybe the expectation wouldn't be so high because the expectation is actually, it's better than nothing because we had nothing last season. Yeah. Maybe that's the saving grace that he's got.
But then, and that's by the situation we was in last year, which we shouldn't be in. But by that metric, yes, because you go, at least he's there. At least we've got a young kid. He's mobile, he's powerful, he's got a good left foot, all that. We can say those things. But it still isn't.
It's not what we need.
Yeah, exactly. Let me get the super chats out while we're on this topic. Cathargian, thank you for the super chat. First super chat as well. Big up to you. Lil Yo-Yo says, Fleck, bring back the years and play at number 9.
We're back. We died.
We're back, yeah? Oh,
I think so. I think we're back.
Was it just me or was it everyone?
I don't know.
Both of us.
I think we're back though. We're back.
Oh, right. Okay. It's back. Apologies, guys. Oh, that's annoying. I don't know what you heard versus what you didn't hear. I'm not going to go back.
The last one was Flex plate number 9 for us. That was the last we had.
Oh wow. Okay, so let me go back through then. Satchiv says Hojlund will be the second striker if Martial stays. Call KG to the show, surely. Carthaginian says, I think United will only buy players after some sales, showing that they don't have money in the kitty. And Aminor says, Spidey Fleck, who is our backup to Hojlund? And Kristen says, we need to sign Szymon Voldasic. I'm going to say, I'm telling you now, Fleck, next Lewandowski, Polish striker out there. Are we good?
I think we're good now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of my things are. I'm not sure what happened.
Just did a madness.
Just did a madness.
Yeah. Maybe refresh your screen if you need to, guys. But I believe in Owen. He's good. I wouldn't rule out. Who said that? Sachiv says Hojlund will be second striker if Martial stays. Like, if we get Hojlund, that's what I'm saying. So if we get Hojlund, so Martial's, we know that. So Martial's going to stay. I 100% agree with you, Aaron. I think he's going to stay because nobody comes in and takes a gamble off Martial for what reason? For what reason? Like, it doesn't. Why? You just wouldn't. The stock's falling too much. He's had a season from hell. If anything, if you're Martial, I know we've lost our patience, but if you're Martial, you're like, I need to stay, get going again. I need to put that behind me and try and get going again next season. That's just what you do. No one's coming in for you. No one's going to take a gamble on you. Your stock's falling because you were injured for over 80% of the games, probably. Right? So Martial stays. If Martial is fit through pre-season, and I know you could say he's never going to be and he's going to break down. I know that, but I'm just saying, if he is, you can't rule out Erik ten Hag still going with him for the experience side over Hojlund and putting Hojlund on the bench, bringing him on, easing him in. If Martial's fit, I wouldn't put it past Ten Hag doing that.
Big if, isn't it?
Of course, it's a big if. Of course, it is. He might do it for a few games until he breaks down, because he will break down. Like you said, he will get injured. But I basically, what Sachiv is saying is not nuts. Like, we could see a situation in certain games or in a few week period or a month where Martial was fit for consecutive games, and again, every game he came off in the 70th minute and the Hojlund kid came on. Like, because there was a period where Martial was fit up until the end of the season where he was actually out. He was fit, wasn't he? Where he was playing and not completing the 90 minutes. That could still be the case. But instead of Weghorst coming on now, it's this Hojlund kid.
Yeah, or they think to themselves, well, if we're going to play Hojlund the majority of the time, then that's easier to keep Martial fit, and maybe he doesn't break down as much because he's not going to play as many games.
It's going to be. So are we saying it's Hojlund and Martial? They're going to be our strikers, probably.
Oh, probably.
Isn't it?
Most likely. Let's be honest. Anthony Martial's not going anywhere.
No. I'll be stunned if he did.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm moving mad. I don't know.
I couldn't see that.
It's really weird. Okay. Van der Beek. Donny van der Beek. In training, smiling.
Sometimes, by the way, what happens, I think, and I might be wrong with anything like that, but sometimes if people watching it on a bit of delay, then sometimes they'll hear it like 5 minutes, and then you get the thing in the comments where it's like, oh, blah 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 blah.
I'm watching back. I seem good on my thing. Yeah. So yeah. There
you go. Anyway, moving on. Donny van der Beek.
Yeah.
Donny van der Beek. Obviously, like you said, he was back in training with everyone else yesterday. Looked happy to be back, of course, coming off a big injury. But Fabrizio Romano does say that Donny van der Beek is considering possibilities around Europe, and there's concrete chances for him to leave. We spoke about players leaving this summer. Surely he has to be one of them. I know people can say the Donny van der Gender and all that kind of stuff, but I don't see what he can,
where he fits in
at United. Yeah, I don't see it, to be
Mount's
honest.
come now as well. You can see where we want to go with it. Mobile, it's a shame. It's a shame for him. He come with high expectation. We were really excited when we signed him. Well, I was anyway. I can speak for me. I know you was, Owen. And it seemed like a really good signing at the time, and it just has not worked out. It hasn't worked out, and I think the best thing for him is to go and restart his career, reignite his career again, because he is a good player. He has got a lot to offer somebody. I just don't think it's Man United right now. I think it's the wrong player, wrong time, wrong club. All of the things that went against him injuries, form, opportunities, chaos at the club, changing of manager, everything went against him. But then you could argue, then Erik ten Hag comes in, that should go for you. But then it goes against him again because he's out for the whole season pretty much with an injury. So tried to go on loan and get some form at Everton, injured. So he's had a terrible time. And he's not going to get game time at Man United to play himself into any form of rhythm or fitness or form, is he? So I just hope we don't loan him. I just hope we
Yeah, I
don't
think,
loan him.
like I said, for his benefit, he needs to leave permanently. But I also think at the same time, as I've said before, I do think we need to be a bit lighter on sort of the excuses. I think the sort of excuses time for him is kind of gone at this point. You know, like initially it was, and I sympathise in the extent of he clearly was a player that United signed. They had no intentions of signing him. He was going to go to Real Madrid. It didn't happen during the pandemic, and they went, "Let's get him." Let's get him.
Yeah,
Let's
what
bring
was
him
the
in.
plan? Yeah,
Yeah, and
Ollie did not have a plan.
Ollie didn't have a plan for him. Didn't fit in, and then so I sympathise with that. But then when he did get opportunities and what have you, it still left a lot to be desired. And as we said when Ten Hag first came in, if it can't work for you under your old boss, it's not going to work. And I know people say, yeah, but he got injured last season, Owen. But prior to that, even I remember watching him in pre-season. I think he had one decent game in pre-season that I was like, wow, Donny was actually really good in that game. And then after that, even Ten Hag could clearly see what the other managers were seeing. If it was just physicality or just, I don't know if it's that he's not the best fit for the Premier League, but I don't know what it is. But eventually, and then like you said, injuries, a couple of seasons of injuries, United have to be a bit cutthroat with that too and say, well, then it's not worked out. Sorry, we're going to have to go in a different direction. And it's best for his career because, again, this was a guy that's playing in like the Netherlands national team. He's miles off it now. He's missed out on major tournaments because of it as well. And I sympathise with him for that. But it's not worked out for him. And now the best, even I would think Ten Hag or someone needs to say, mate, you need to leave for the best of your career and just play. You need to play games and you need to play yourself back into form or something. Go back to Ajax. They'd have him back. Do something like that. But from United's point of view, and I think this is the biggest indication, Flex, is how long was he out? When did he get injured? Was it like January or something like that?
When Ericsson, is in and around there,
around
isn't it?
It
was in a tackle at Old Trafford, wasn't it? Mashed him up, man.
In and around that period of time. And the biggest indictment you could say is, did we really miss him?
No, and even in that game where he managed to start, I think he was starting in that game. Someone put it in the chat. The game he got injured.
It was a cup game, I think it was.
Yeah, even that game, it was like, oh, he's finally got a chance, kind of thing. It wasn't the starting team. I remember it being a team where it was like he could get a go, basically. And then that happened. That's where it's unlucky. It's like you finally get a chance to say, look, I want to put everything behind me. I want to have a good game tonight and show what I could do. Bang, injured for the rest of the season. Like, that's unlucky. But I do agree with what you're saying, Owen, because I know people said you had a Van de Gender and all that stuff. But in all seriousness, anytime he's had the chance to raise eyebrow, like, I know I'm not saying everyone has to play like Garnacho because he's a winger, he's different. So it's, if you just come on and run at people and take people on and cross, it's like, oh, that's what we need. It's easy to say that. But in midfield, there's things that you can do that catch your eye. There is, being on the ball, creating chances, having shots, contributing to a goal, keeping possession really well, breaking up play, positionally, dispossessing people, coming from the back four, getting play initiated. There's so many things as a midfielder you can do that are not in the same ilk of a winger coming on and twisting people up. And he every time he came and had a little appearance, and I know you can use but what's he supposed to do because he's not playing that much. But that's the cutthroat ruthlessness of competition at the highest level. You have to find a gear. You have to find something. And if you're not that sort of player, or you're the player that needs a lot more time to do something, I get it. But that just means you're probably not going to get that time here. And that's okay. That's okay. But it means you're going to be surplus. And I just think Donny's got to a point where a mixture of the injuries and the lack of luck, and then not doing enough when he's there, all of that into one just means he needs a fresh start. He needs a fresh start. And he probably thinks the same thing too, by the way. He probably thinks the same thing too.
Yeah, well, if he's still thinking I can make it work, then you would say, mate,
yeah, I just don't see, especially now we've just got Mason Mount. Like, I'm just like, where, you got Mount, Bruno, Casemiro, one of McTominay and Fred, who are above you as well. Like, yeah. I mean, look, Nelson said, imagine Donny playing at Brighton. And that's the thing. Like, you never know. You could.
You never know. My thing with him is to just feel like, again, he's just a bit soft. And I know people, and I know,
like a midfield Sancho.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just a bit again in the Premier League, and again, a team like Brighton, people can say, "Oh, yeah, do really well at Brighton," but that Brighton team is rough. I mean, they are intense. They are on you. They're midfielders, yeah, they're ballers, but at the same time, their pressure, their intensity. And Donny, I know he was in a Ten Hag team at Ajax that was quite intense, but every single week in the Premier League, you just need that. That proper grit. And I just don't know if he has it. And I know then people start then doing the whataboutism. Like, what about Martial? What about this? What about that? Sell them all.
Yeah. You're not making excuses for one.
Me said I think Donny van de Beek should go does not mean that I want Anthony Martial to stay. I think Martial should go as well. But again, I don't see his future at United. I don't see how it works out at this point.
Yeah, agreed. Jordan Pendley says, is Kane really over? Because we always panic buy. You can never say 1,000,000% over. You can never say that because you're right. Look what happened. The Ronaldo thing, the Ronaldo situation literally tells us that. Like, that was unbelievable how that unfolded. You just couldn't see it. But I very much doubt it, Jordan. If I'm honest, I very much doubt it. Smash the like on the video. We're just under 500 likes. So we're nearly at 3K watching live. 3K. And we're not even at 500 likes. Come on, guys. You lot can do a lot better than that. I believe in you. I know you can do it. Let's go for the next two really quickly. Summer outgoings.
Yes, so this is just a bit of a continuation on what we were talking about earlier, actually, with Jamie Jackson from The Guardian saying that Harry Maguire, Anthony Elanga and Fred are the prime candidates to be sold this summer. Scott McTominay is also available at the right price. Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian also saying that West Ham are tracking Scott McTominay after they get that Declan Rice money. Knowing that they have that Declan Rice money,
Some
if
of
they
it
came in for Scott McTominay, if they, wow, they can plan for the future of it, certainly, can't they, as well? Because they're going to get it in within 2 years. Something like that, yeah. How much do you charge for Scott McTominay from West Ham if they come in?
To West Ham?
Take the piss.
No less than 40. Minimum opening bid 40.
I would say start at 50, work your way down.
I'll start 50 and go down because you want 40.
Yeah.
Yeah. 40. Not
do what Chelsea did to us.
Yeah.
We want 75 million. And they end up on 55.
Yeah. I'm here for that. I agree with you. Yeah. We have to show some form of intent now. We do. Even if they go, you're having a laugh, mate. Have you seen the state? Have you seen this? Yeah, I have, but Man United tax, mate. Everyone else is doing it. We have to have that. We've got to start doing it. But what Tommy, £80 million all day. Kristen says 105 million. Satchev says 50 million. We have to. I agree. We have to be ruthless. We've got to start selling. And if McTominay is of interest to West Ham, and actually, again, hear me out on this. And West Ham, and I spoke to West Ham fans about this actually, because they say this isn't mad. McTominay possesses a lot of the kind of things that Declan Rice can do, but to a lesser level. And in a West Ham team, someone like Scott McTominay would be absolutely fine. He'd be absolutely fine.
I think honestly, they'd really like him at West Ham. And obviously, he's not as good as Declan Rice, clearly.
No.
But I do think there is this kind of sort of, not disrespect, but I think there's a little bit of like people say, "Oh, McTominay's rubbish." Like he's not rubbish. He's not rubbish. Is he good enough to be a United player? Certainly not a United starter. And maybe even, like I said, sometimes when you want him to do a job, that's why I prefer like a Fred, because you just know Fred do that job, he will do it. McTominay, But I think he'd do all right at West Ham. I do, and also you've got coming through the academy, you've got to make your money. You've got to make your money on him. So, like you said, minimum 40.
Minimum. People in the chat saying he is rubbish. Tabislav says he is rubbish, 100%. Again, it's in context to someone who's, and again, if there's West Ham fans watching, I mean this with the biggest respect because West Ham is a big club. But in terms of Manchester United level and what Man United is and the caliber of player you need to be to play for Man United, because you could play for West Ham doesn't mean you're good enough for Man United, and vice versa. Vice versa, it means you can not be good enough for Man United, but you can be good enough for West Ham. It's like saying, looking at someone who plays for them team and going, nah, they're a Villa player or they're a West Ham player. Nah, they're Southampton level. That's not our level. Like, that doesn't mean that he can't do a job for West Ham, and a decent job, by the way. I think David Moyes would love Scott McTominay. I think he would love him. We weren't too long ago, we were saying he would do a good job at Newcastle. Even Newcastle's leveled up and gone to gnarly levels. But Scott McTominay can play for a load of Premier League teams. Let's not say that he can't, because he can.
Yeah, and that's my point. Is he is not good enough. We've seen he's not good enough to be a Manchester United regular week in, week out starter. He is not that. His best is to be on the right periphery of the Manchester United squad and playing occasionally coming off the bench. That's his ceiling, in my opinion.
And even that, we need better to do that job.
But we need better. We need better than that. But I think if and I'm not a West Ham fan, obviously, but if West Ham signed him, I think they'd look at that going, that's all right.
I spoke to a good few of them, and they said, listen, we'll take him. Do you know how mad it is? They even said Harry Maguire will be fine for them. Yeah. I swear to you. We have to take our Man United hat off where we're going. We've seen how slow he is of it. Mate, it's, again, no disrespect, it's West Ham. Like, it's a completely different stratosphere. The same way how Harry Maguire looked amazing at Leicester. Like, let's not forget this. Let's not forget the player that Harry Maguire is. He's Leicester. He's West Ham. He's not even Villa now, because they've actually got really good centre-backs. But, like, do you know what I mean?
They go to that level, and then you see, can they take the step up? He couldn't. No. You know what I mean? So you go back down.
That's your level. Like that, because he's been so bad at Man, and this is me defending Harry Maguire a little bit. Because he's been so bad at Man United, it's not worked out. He can still play in the Premier League. He can play for Spurs. Like, it's just not Man United level, not City level, not Liverpool level, not bloody Arsenal level. Like, let's just be real here. And we want to sell these players. So we have to advertise them somehow. Like, they're not good enough for us. I'm not saying we should keep these players, but to suggest these players can't play in the Premier League and can't get sold. So what? Maguire's that rubbish, then he should play in the Championship.
Well, if they're terrible, Flex, we shouldn't get any good money for them. If they're terrible, we shouldn't get any good money for them. You know, we should, if they're rubbish, we should get 10 million for them. But people like McTominay absolutely be charging 40 or more. That's what we should be doing.
Don't let the hate for the player, guys, make you just think, you know, they can't even play in the Prem. Like, come on, I'm not having that. You could call me what you want, but I'm not having that. That's just not, because it's not accurate. It's not true, in my opinion. Sachiv says, Owen, play the hate along tune to Arsenal's transfer.
I don't have it. I don't have KG's hate along thing. Copyrighted material. I'm not a stealer.
Yeah. And Lil Yo-Yo says, thoughts on Mason Greenwood 11 loan swap for Hojlund. Again, like I said yesterday, Lil Yo-Yo, we're just leaving it till they say what's going to happen with him. They look like they probably are going to loan him. But like I said yesterday, we're going to wait to see what the clubs say. And we're all going to get into that for sure. Paul Lynch says, Onana effect, FFP. Onana effect FFP, we're owed about 40 million for Lukaku? ? Yeah, I don't know, actually.
The Lukaku transfer situation is so hilarious because like the dance that he's doing with Inter Milan, you know what I mean? Like, they still owe money to us for Lukaku. During that period of time, they've sold him, loaned him, and now looking to buy him back.
It's great. Wait, can we trace back the steps? After Man United, he went Inter, didn't he?
He went to Inter,
won the league, and then Conte left.
And it must be said too, with the Lukaku one, when he went back to Inter, that deal that we sold him to Inter obviously was for like 70 odd million, something like that, but spread across a lot of years, a lot of years. So during that period of time, he went to
still
Inter.
Paying that to us now?
Yes. And during that period of time, they have sold him to Chelsea and then loaned him back to Inter Milan. And now they're trying to buy him again from Chelsea.
But they're still owe us from the original.
They're still paying off the first time they bought him. And during that time, they've sold him and looking to buy him again.
But we still ain't got RPs yet.
Not completely, no.
Nah. Yeah, then obviously, I know I'm going to do a bit of a KG here. Run us RPs. I'm not even paying any for an owner. It should be free. Obviously, it don't work like that. But yeah, that seems quite complex. But clearly, it seems that they owe us some sort of money. I'm not going to lie. I don't know enough about that situation and the actual numbers to like really go in on that, if I'm honest. But in KG fashion, run me RPs, mate. Run us RPs. Where's the money? Don't be trying to ask us for Onana thing. And if I'm John Murto and them, man, I'm saying, listen, you still got the installments for that. Let's talk. How about I write off them last 3 installments and take this price down? Yeah,
£2.5 million. You're going, you owe us money still.
Exactly.
Why are you trying to
get rid of that?
Your debts.
Do you want me to, you know what I mean, get the creditors to come back to you and really be forceful with these installments, actually, by the way?
Yeah.
So if you don't, take the 2 million off. You got to use it as some leverage, surely. So again, we can have a bit of fun with those negotiations because we don't really know. But yeah, that is a bit. I forgot about those whole moves. Like I thought, actually, yeah, we did sell him to Inter. Then they loaned him. Then they bought him. Then they sold him. And it's mad. It's mad. Absolutely mad. So we'll see what happens with that. Smash the like on the video, guys. Thanks for watching the show. The last super chat of the day is from Satchiv. Says, should we do a player swap, McTominay with Kane? Well, yes, if we can, with whatever money we need to. Absolutely, Satchiv. If we can go to Spurs and say, do you need a midfielder because you lost Hojlund? Again, with what Hojlund does, run around and kick people and get about the pitch. McTominay could do that for Spurs. And give whatever money. But I think Spurs would put their middle fingers up to us. Spurs fans would as well. And Daniel Levy would. So, yeah. Smash a like on the video, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We are out of here. Remember, we will be across whatever happens with Andre Onana. We'll be across whatever news breaks, any here we goes and stuff like that. We are out of here.
Very quickly, people are saying Henderson departure one because we didn't get to that one.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. I didn't even see that one. Oh, yes, of course. Henderson. Well, actually, just really quick. Yeah, let's do that.
Very, very quickly. Dean Henderson's unlikely to be on the tour because he's set to leave Manchester United, come from Charlotte Ducker. The Athletic are also saying in the last couple of minutes that he's a primary target for Forest, keen to return to the City ground, but things have been stalled because of the David De Gea situation. But basically, Henderson's going, yes.
Listen, man, if we can get 30 million for him, honestly, and I would be, that would be fantastic. Like we said on the show yesterday, 30 million would be brilliant. That would be great money for him. And in the last couple of minutes, Samuel Luckhurst has also said John Murtough is believed to have met Atalanta officials over Rasmus Hojlund. Again, when people like Luckhurst say things like that, it's happening. Well, conversations are happening. So, yes, we are out of here this time, guys. Apologies for that. We have covered all the super chats. Smash a like on the way out. See if we can get up to 600 on the way out. There's your challenge.
Peace!